Hey family. So we on our 1 year reading Bible challenge. Our goal is to read this entire Bible by the end of the year, and we still catching up. We doing January 14th study on today. Let's see, January 14th, and we doing Genesis 46. Verse 1 through Genesis 50:26, and this will be our last day in the book of Genesis. So the recap on January 13th, we read chapters 42 through 45. So what happened was, in chapter 42, dreams do come true. So the dream that Joseph was having about his brothers bowing down to him and all that type of stuff, it done came true. Due to the famine in the land, the brothers and their daddy was hungry. So Joseph is governor over the country of Egypt. So he's in charge of the food and distributing it out to everybody in the land of Egypt and the surrounding countries, the people who come traveling for food, basically. So the brothers came traveling for food. Joseph recognizes them, but they did not recognize him. Joseph started putting them to the test to see how honest they are. Um, he basically asked them questions like, "You got any more brothers? Um, your dad at home?" He asked them questions about all of this. They tell him like, "Look, we all 10 of us is brothers from the same father. Our dad live in Canaan. We have another brother in Canaan, our baby brother, but we have a brother who have died. The brother is Joseph that they're talking about, the one that's governor. Um, he's the one that allegedly died, but that's the one that they sold into slavery. So Joseph tell them, well, bring your other brother back so that you can prove that you're an honest man, basically. So they go back home to Canaan with the food. They end up finding out that they still got money left up in their sacks, and they scared. Joseph had them in prison when they was in Egypt, but they go back home to Canaan to their dad Jacob, and they like, look, we got to take Benjamin with us. Jacob said the devil is a liar. Mm-mm. I done already lost Rachel. I done lost Joseph. Benjamin is the only son that I have left from Rachel. He's not going. Don't ask me. So they end up running out of food again. The brothers, Jacob tell his sons, all the brothers, like, look, y'all go back to Egypt, get us some more food. They like, look, if you ain't letting us take Benjamin, we ain't going. It's pointless. So after so much pleading and begging, to their dad Jacob for Benjamin to go with Jacob just finally ended up saying, okay, Benjamin go. But if something happened to him, y'all gonna make me very sad. Like at that point, I'm just gonna die. So chapter 44, Joseph set traps for the brothers. Um Basically testing them. That's what Joseph's doing. So he's setting traps for them. They getting caught in the traps every time, and they scared, but they're trying to prove that they are honest men. So by the time we get to chapter 45, Joseph can't hold it no more. He like, I'm just about to go and tell y'all who I am. I'm Joseph. I'm y'all brother. I'm the one y'all sold into slavery a while ago. But don't be angry with yourselves. I'm not even angry with you. It was by God's own design that this happened. I was supposed to go ahead of y'all to bring this thing into fruition. All those dreams that I was having, this was the Lord's doing. So hey, we're here now. Don't worry about it. Send for daddy. The Pharaoh then gave y'all wagons so y'all can pack everybody up. Everything y'all had, we gonna give y'all some of the best land here in Egypt, and you just go send for everybody, bring them back. and we gonna make it do what it do. The brothers are stunned, and confused at the same time. So they go back to their daddy and tell their daddy. Jacob is just as confused as they were. Like, huh? What's going on? You mean to tell me my son, who I thought was dead for 22 years now, is alive and well? Um, yeah, Jacob was taken aback, but after the proof of the wagons that Pharaoh sent, everything, Jacob peeped like, what's outside? Okay, all these wagons, maybe y'all telling the truth. So Jacob get excited, and it's time to pack up and go to his son, whom he thought was deceased for all this time. Now we closing in on Genesis. This is the last of Genesis on today. Genesis is a very interesting book. Okay, in chapter 46 in Genesis, and it reads, so Israel began his trip to Egypt. First he went to Beersheba. There he worshipped God, the God of his father Isaac. He offered sacrifices. During the night, God spoke to Israel in a dream and said, Jacob, Jacob. Israel answered, here I am. Then God said, I am God, the God of your father. Don't be afraid to go to Egypt. In Egypt, I'll make you a great nation. I'll go to Egypt with you, and I'll bring you out of Egypt again. You will die there, but Joseph will be with you. His own hands will close your eyes when you die. Verse 5. Then, so basically, God is reassuring Jacob, like, it's okay to go. It's okay to make that move. Like, yeah, I'm going to be with you. And I love how Jacob always consult with God. Like, he never forgets God. It's like, let me run this by the Lord. Let me build my offering and my sacrifices. See what the Lord got to say about this. So, verse 5, then Jacob left Beersheba and traveled to Egypt. His sons, the sons of Israel, brought their father, their wives, and all their children to Egypt. They traveled in the wagons the Pharaoh had sent. They also had their cattle and everything they owned in the land of Canaan. So Israel went to Egypt with all his children and his family. With him were his sons and his grandsons, his daughters and his granddaughters. All of his family went with him. These are the names of Israel's sons and family who went to Egypt with him. Reuben was Jacob's first son. Reuben's sons were Hanich, was the Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Simeon's sons were Jemuel, Jamin, or Jamin. I think that's his name. Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Yakin, and Zoar. There were also Shaul. Shaul was born from a Canaanite woman. Levi's sons were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Judah's sons were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. And Onan died while still in Canaan. Perez's sons were Hezron and Hamel, I believe. Isaac's sons were Tola, Pau, Job, and Shimron. Zebulon's sons were Sarah, Elon, and Jaleel. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Isaac, and Zebulon were Jacob's sons from his wife Leah. Leah had these sons in Pad and Aram. She also had a daughter named Dinah. There were 33 people in this family. So just from his wife Leah, all the kids that Jacob had with Leah and their grandkids, yeah, that from Leah is 33 in that family. Now Gad's sons were Zephon, Haggai, Shunai, Esbon, I believe, or Suni, yeah, Suni, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. Asher's sons were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, Bariah, and their sister Sarah. Also, there were Bariah's sons, Heber and Machiel. Yeah, Machiel, I believe. All these were Jacob's sons from his wife's servants, Zilpah. Zilpah was the maid that Laban had get to his daughter Leah. There were 16 people in this family. So um, the children that he had with Leah and grandchildren, that's 33 in that family. Now, the maid servant that he had babies by with uh, Leah's servant, which is Zilpah, is the sons, the grandsons, all that is 16 people in all just within the lineage of Jacob and Leah. Verse 19, Benjamin was also with Jacob. Benjamin was Jacob and Rachel's son. Joseph was also Rachel's son, but he was already in Egypt. Mind you, he's the governor over Egypt. So in Egypt, Joseph had two sons, which is Manasseh and Ephraim. Joseph's wife was Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, the priest in the city of On. Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gerar, Naaman, uh, Ahi, I believe, Rosh, Mupum, Pupum, and Mupum, Hupum, and Ard. These were the sons of Jacob from his wife Rachel. There were 14 people in his family. So we got 33 from Leah, 16 from Zilpah, and we got 14 from Rachel. Dan's sons were Husham. Naphtali's sons were Jaziel, Gunni, Jezer, and Shillem, I believe. These were the sons of Jacob and Bilhah. Bilhah was the maid that Laban had given to his daughter Rachel. Remember the one Reuben, Jacob's first son, ended up sleeping with? Yeah, Bilhah. So is Jacob had children by four women in all. These all the women. It's uh, Leah, Zilpah, Rachel, and Bilhah. So this the lineage, the children, the grandchildren that he had with these. This everybody he packing up to go to Egypt. So there were 7 people in this family. So in the family of Bilhah, 7 people in all, including children and grandchildren. Verse 26, the total number of Jacob's direct descendants who went with him to Egypt was 66 people. The wives of Jacob's sons were not counted in this number. Also, Joseph had 2 sons in Egypt. With these 2 grandsons, Jacob's family in Egypt numbered 70 people in all. Jacob sent Judah ahead to speak to Joseph. Judah went to Joseph in the land of Goshen. Then Jacob and his people followed into the land. Joseph learned that his father was coming, so he prepared his chariot and went out to meet his father, Israel, which is Jacob, in Goshen. When Joseph saw his father, he hugged his neck and cried for a long time. I can imagine. Verse 30, then Israel said to Joseph, now I can die in peace. Can you imagine the weight that's lifted off this man's shoulders? I've seen your face, and now that I know that you are alive. Verse 31, Joseph said to his brothers and to the rest of his father's family, I go and tell Pharaoh that you hear. I'll say to Pharaoh, my brothers and the rest of my father's family have left the land of Canaan and have come here to me. They are a family of shepherds. They have always kept sheep and cattle. They have brought all their animals and everything they own with them. So they done packed up and came to me. Let me go alert Pharaoh about what's going on, basically. When Pharaoh calls you, he'll ask you, what work do you do? You will tell him, we are shepherds. All our lives we have been shepherds, and our ancestors were shepherds before us. Then Pharaoh will allow you to live in the land of Goshen. Egyptians don't like shepherds, so it is better that you stay in Goshen. And that is our that's chapter 46. So basically he like, I'm finna call this meeting with y'all and Pharaoh. Pharaoh gonna ask y'all some questions. Y'all just let them know what it is. Let them know that y'all shepherds. What is shepherds? Somebody who keep the sheep. Keep the sheep and cattle. They feed the sheep, guide the sheep, protect the sheep. That's what a shepherd is. Um, Chapter 47. Joseph went in to Pharaoh and said, my father and my brothers and all their families are here. They have all their animals and everything they own from the land of Canaan with them. They are now in the land of Goshen. Joseph chose 5 of his brothers to be with him before Pharaoh. So he like, 5 of y'all come here. So mind you, it's 12 brothers, and then is Dinah, the daughter. But and I think Israel had another daughter because in the Bible it say daughters. of Israel, but the only one that they speak of is Dinah. I'm guessing because she got raped. But yeah, Joseph like, five of y'all come with me to go meet with the Pharaoh. Verse 3. Pharaoh said to his brothers, what work do you do? The brother said to Pharaoh, sir, we are shepherds, just as our ancestors were shepherds before us. They said to Pharaoh, the famine is very bad in Canaan. There are no fields left with grass for our animals, so we have come to live in this land. We ask you to please let us live in Goshen. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, your father and your brothers have come to you. You can choose any place in Egypt for them to live. Give your father and your brothers the best land. Let them live in the land of Goshen. And if they are skilled shepherds, they can also care for my cattle. I know that's right. Then Joseph called his father Jacob to come in and meet Pharaoh. Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to him, how old are you? Jacob said to Pharaoh, I have had a short life with many troubles. I am only 130 years old. I'm sorry. My father and his ancestors lived to be much older than I am. Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh and left from his meeting with him. So what I can learn from Jacob, which is Israel, is just because you called and favored by God does not exempt you from troubles. Uh, Jacob was definitely a man of faith, but like he said, I'm 130 years old and I done had some troubles. Verse 11, Joseph did what Pharaoh said and gave his father and brothers a land in Egypt. It was the best land in Egypt and the eastern part of the country around Ramesses. Joseph also gave his father, his brothers, and all their people the food they needed. The famine got worse. There was no food anywhere in the land. Egypt and Canaan became very poor because of this bad time. People in the land bought more and more grain. Joseph saved the money and bought it to Pharaoh's house. Uh, he got the money, brought it to Pharaoh's house. After some time, the people in Egypt and Canaan had no money left. They had spent all their money to buy grain. So these people done ran out of money. Um, Everything that they had money wise, they done spent it on food at this point. So the people of Egypt went to Joseph and said, please give us food. Our money is gone. If we don't eat, we'll die while you are watching. Like right here in front of you, we just clean fall out. Verse 16, but Joseph answered, give me your cattle and I'll give you food. So the people used their cattle and horses and all their other animals to buy food. And that year, Joseph gave them food and took their animals. So they doing trade off at this point because ain't no more money. But the next year, the people had no animals and nothing to buy food with. Excuse me. So they went to Joseph and said, you know that we had no money left and all our animals belong to you. So we have nothing left, literally nothing. Only what you see, our bodies and our land. Surely we'll die while you are watching. But if you give us food, we'll give Pharaoh our land and we'll be his slaves. Give us seed so that we can plant. Then we'll live and not die, and the land will grow food for us again. So at this point, these people they have nothing. They gave all their money, they gave all their animals away. They like, what you see is what you get. All we got is land and us. So give us some food and we'll just give you the land that we have. And we selling ourselves as slaves. We'll work for you at this point. Just give us some food. We hungry. Verse 20. So Joseph bought all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh. All the people in Egypt sold Joseph their fields. They did this because they were very hungry. And everywhere in Egypt, all the people became Pharaoh's slaves. The only land Joseph didn't buy was the land that the priest owned. The priests didn't need to sell their land because Pharaoh paid them for their work. So they used this money to buy food to eat. Joseph said to the people, now I've bought you and your land for Pharaoh, so I'll give you seed and you can plant your fields. At harvest time, you must give 1/5 of your crops to Pharaoh. You can keep 4/5 for yourself. You can use the seed you keep for food and planting the next year. Now you can feed your families and your children. The people said, you have saved our lives. We are happy to be slaves of Pharaoh. Joseph made a new law. Joseph made a law at that time in the land, and that law continues today. The law says that 1/5 of everything from the land belongs to Pharaoh, who owns all the land. The only land he does not own is the land of the priests. Israel stayed in Egypt. He lived in the land of Goshen. His family grew and became very large. They became landowners there and did very well. So, among everybody in Egypt, Joseph's family is favored due to him. Praise God. Verse 28, Jacob lived in Egypt 17 years, so he was 147 years old. The time came when Israel knew he had died soon, so he called his son Joseph to him. He said, if you love me, put your hand under my leg and make a promise. Promise that you would do what I say and that you would be truthful with me. When I die, don't bury me in Egypt. Mm-mm. Bury me in the place where my ancestors are buried. Carry me out of Egypt and bury me in our family grave. Now, mind you, his family grave is in Machpelah, where Abraham, Sarah, where everybody else is buried. So he like, look, take us to the family grave. Don't bury me in Egypt. Joseph answered, I promise that I'll do what you say. Then Jacob said, make a vow to me. And Joseph vowed to him that he would do this. Then Israel laid his head back down on the bed. He like, okay, that was the only thing I was worried about. Got that understood. Chapter 48. Some time later, Joseph learned that his father was very sick. So he took his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and went to his father. When Joseph arrived, someone told Israel, your son Joseph has come to see you. Israel was very weak, but he tried hard and sat up in his bed. Then Israel said to Joseph, God all powerful appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan. God blessed me there. He said to me, I'll make you a great family. I'll give you many children. You will be a great people. Did he not come through like he said he was? Your family will own this land forever. Now you have two sons. These two sons were born here in the country of Egypt before I came. Your two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, will be like my own sons. They'll be like like Reuben and Simeon, which is his first and second born son, Joseph's older brothers. Um, Jacob, which is Israel, is telling this to Joseph. They'll be like Reuben and Simeon to me, talking about Joseph's two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. Verse 6, so these boys will be my sons. They are sharing everything I own, but if you have other sons, they'll be your sons, but they'll also be like my son, like sons to Ephraim and Manasseh. That is, in the future, they are sharing everything that Ephraim and Manasseh own. On a trip from Paddan Aram, Rachel died in the land of Canaan. This made me very sad. Talking about your mama. Your mama done died. We were still traveling toward Ephrath, I believe is what it says. I buried her there on the road to Ephrath. Ephrath is Bethlehem. Then Israel saw Joseph's sons. Israel said, who are these boys? Joseph said to his father, these are my sons. These are the boys God gave me. Israel said, bring your sons to me. I bless them. Israel was old and his eyes were not good. So Israel going blind at this point. So Joseph brought the boys close to his father. Israel kissed and hugged the boys. Then Israel said to Joseph, I never thought I'd see your face again, but look, God has let me see you and your children. Praise the Lord. Then Joseph took the boys off Israel's lap and they bowed down in front of his father. Joseph put Ephraim on his right side and Manasseh on his left side. So Ephraim was on Israel's left side and Manasseh was on Israel's right side. But Israel crossed his hands and put his right hand on the head of the younger boy, Ephraim. Then he put his left hand on Manasseh, even though Manasseh was the firstborn. And Israel blessed Joseph and said, my ancestors, Abraham and Isaac, worshiped our God, and that God has led me all my life. You got to know it. He was the angel who saved me from all my troubles, and I pray that he had blessed these boys. Now they have my name and the name of our ancestors, Abraham and Isaac. I pray that they grow to become great families and nations on earth. Verse 17, Joseph saw that his father put his right hand on Ephraim's head. This didn't make Joseph happy. Joseph took his father's hand because he wanted to move it from Ephraim's head and put it on Manasseh's head. He like, okay, daddy, maybe you blind, because clearly Manasseh is the firstborn. Joseph said to his father, you had your right hand on the wrong boy. Manasseh is the firstborn. Put your right hand on him. But his father refused and said, I know, son. I know. Manasseh is the firstborn. He'll be great and he'll be the father of many people, but his younger brother will be greater than he is, and the younger brother's family will be much larger. So Israel blessed them that day. He said, the Israelites will use your names whenever they bless someone. They'll say, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. In this way, Israel made Ephraim greater than Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, look, my time to die is almost here, but God will still be with you. He'll lead you back to the land of your ancestors. I've given you one portion more than I've given to your brothers. I gave you the land that I won from the Amorites. I used my sword and bow to take the land. So I done defeated these people, took the land, is yours. Chapter 49. Then Jacob called all his sons to him. He said, my sons, come here to me. I'll tell you what'll happen in the future. Children of Jacob, gather around. Come listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, which is his firstborn, he said, Reuben, my first son, you are my strength, the first proof of my manhood. You were the most honored and powerful of all my sons, but your passion was like a flood you couldn't control. So you will not remain my most honored son. You climbed into your father's bed and slept with one of his wives. You brought shame to my bed, to the bed you lay on. Pause. Now, mind you, uh, Jacob is telling Reuben, like, you was the most respected of all of my sons. Like, you my firstborn boy. You proof of my manhood. Like, but you brought shame to me when you slept with Bilhah. You climbed in my bed with Bilhah and slept with her. So their respect and honor is basically taken away from you. Verse 5, Simeon and Levi are brothers. They are violent with their swords. I will not join their secret meetings. I will not take part in their evil plans. They have killed people out of anger and crippled animals for fun. Their anger is so strong that it is a curse. They are too cruel when they are angry. They will not get their own land in the land of Jacob. They'll be spread throughout Israel. Pause. Now, mind you, Simeon and Levi are the two brothers that killed Hamor and Shechem and all the men in that field of Shechem for raping their sister Dinah. So uh Jacob is basically telling these two boys, like, y'all are loose cannons. Y'all anger is going to be y'all downfall. Really. Like, y'all just hurt people for fun. Y'all violent. Y'all even make the animals cripple. Animals just come out. Y'all just break their legs just for the fun of it. Like, he like, yeah, with Simeon and Levi. Verse 8, Judah, your brothers will praise you. You will defeat your enemies. Your brothers will bow down to you. Judah is like a lion. My son, you are like a lion standing over the animal you killed. Like a lion, Judah lies down to rest, and no one is brave enough to disturb him. Men from Judah's family will be kings. The sign that his family rules will not leave his family before the real king comes. Then many people will obey and serve him. He ties his donkeys to the best grapevines. He washes his clothes in the best wine. His eyes are red from drinking wine. His teeth are white from drinking milk. So it's sounding like Judah almost, mind you, Judah is the fourth son. So Reuben, it ain't none with you. You slept with one of my wives. Simeon, Levi, y'all evil. Ain't too much to know with y'all. Judah, okay, it's sounding like Judah is starting to get the inheritance. Blessings is starting to fall upon on Judah. Zebulon will live near the sea. His sea coast will be a safe place for ships. His land will continue as far as the city of Sidon. Isaacr. Isaacr is like a donkey that has worked too hard. He'll lie down under his heavy load. He'll see his land is pleasant and that his resting place is good, but he'll agree to carry heavy loads, and he will agree to work as a slave. Dan. Dan will rule his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan will be like a snake at the side of the road. He'll be like a dangerous snake lying near the path. That snake bites a horse's foot and the riders fall to the ground. Lord, I'm waiting for your salvation. Gad. A group of robbers will attack Gad, but Gad will chase them away. Asher. Asher's land will grow much good food. He'll have food fit for a king. Naphtali. Naphtali is like a deer running free, and his words are beautiful. Joseph. Joseph is like a wild donkey, like a young donkey by a spring, like colts grazing in pasture. People attacked him and made life hard for him. Men with arrows became his enemies, but he won a fight with his mighty bow and his skillful arms. He gets power from the mighty one of Jacob, from the shepherd, the rock of Israel, the God of your father who helps you. May God all powerful bless you and give you blessings from the sky above and from the deep below. May he give you blessings from breast and womb. My parents had many good things happen to them, and I, your father, was blessed even more. Your brothers left you with nothing, but now I pile all my blessings on you as high as the mountain. I know that's right. Benjamin. Benjamin is like a hungry wolf. In the morning he kills and eats. In the evening he shares what is left. These are the 12 families of Israel, and this is what the father said to them. He gave each son a blessing that is right for him. Then Israel gave them a command. He said, when I die, I want to be with my people. I want to be buried with my ancestors in the cave in the field of Ephron, the Hittite. The cave is in the field of Machpelah, near Mamre in the land of Canaan. Abraham bought that field from Ephron so that he could have a burying place. Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried in that cave. Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried in that cave. I buried my wife Leah in that cave. That cave is in the field that was bought from the Hittites. After Jacob finished talking to his sons, he lay down, put his feet back on the bed, and died. Jacob, okay. I had no knowledge that Leah had died. This is my first time hearing that Leah died. So basically, Jacob is saying, my granddaddy, my grandma buried in Machpelah. My daddy and my mama buried in Machpelah. I buried my wife in Machpelah. I want to be buried in Machpelah. So, yeah, that's the family field burial place. In Genesis chapter 50, our last chapter in Genesis. Genesis has been a great book. Um, Chapter 50 in Genesis, when Israel died, Joseph was very sad. He hugged his father and cried over him and kissed him. Excuse me. Joseph commanded his servants to prepare his father's body. These servants were doctors. The doctors prepared Jacob's body to be buried. They prepared the body in the special way of the Egyptians. When the Egyptians prepared the body in a special way, they waited 40 days before they buried the body. Then the Egyptians had a special time of sadness for Jacob. This time was 70 days. So these folks been grieving for this time of sadness. This whole thing is lasting for a little over 2 months. After the time of sadness was finished, Joseph spoke to Pharaoh's officers and said, please tell this to Pharaoh. When my father was near death, I made a promise to him. I promised that I'd bury him in a cave in the land of Canaan. This is the cave that he prepared for himself. So please let me go and bury my father. Then I'll come back here to you. Pharaoh answered, keep your promise. Go and bury your father. Look, Pharaoh look, anything you say is gold. I know I'm here, honcho, but you second to me. Anything you say go. I'm here for it. Verse 7. So Joseph went to bury his father. All of Pharaoh's officials, personal advisors, and all the older leaders of Egypt went with Joseph. I'm talking about king treatment. Verse 8, all the people in Joseph's family, his brothers and all the people in his father's family went with him. Only the children and the animals stayed in the land of Goshen. So there was a large crowd of people with him. They were deep. This was even a group of soldiers. I mean, there were even a group of soldiers riding in chariots and on some horses. I'm talking about carrying Jacob away like a boss. They went to Goren Atad, I believe is the name, east of the Jordan River. There they had a long funeral service for Israel, which continued for 7 days for a whole week. When the people who lived in Canaan saw the funeral service at Goren Atad, they said, "This is a time of great sorrow for those Egyptians." So now, that place across the Jordan River is named Abel Mizraim. So Jacob's sons did what their father told them. They carried his body to Canaan and buried it in a cave at Machpelah. This was the cave near Mamre in the field that Abraham had bought from Ephron the Hittite. Abraham bought the cave to use as a burial place. After Joseph buried his father, he had everyone in the group with him and went back to Egypt. Verse 15, after Jacob died, Joseph's brothers were worried. They were afraid that Joseph would still be mad at them for what they had done years ago. They said, maybe Joseph still hates us for what we did. Pause. So you know how you grieving. When you start grieving, some people just look for a reason to be angry. Look for somebody to blame, or to get their anger and frustration. Out of all the emotions, anger is probably the easiest emotion to tap into. So the brothers are assuming now that our father dead, Joseph is probably pissed, like we probably finna catch his wrath now. He already grieving, so they scared. Verse 16. So the brothers sent this message to Joseph. Before your father died, he told us to give you a message. He said, tell Joseph that I beg him to please forgive his brothers for the bad things they did to him. So now, Joseph, we beg you, please forgive us for the bad things we did to you. We are the servants of God, the God of your father. Pause. Brothers, I feel like y'all can save it. Anything that Jacob feel like he needs to tell Joseph, he told him. We don't need y'all as middleman to try to plead y'all case. Joseph ain't even on that type of timing. Don't be scared. Um, that message made Joseph very sad, and he cried. His brothers went to him and bowed down in front of him. They said, we'll be your servants. Then Joseph said to them, don't be afraid. I'm not God. I have no right to punish you. It is true that you plan to do something bad to me, but really, God was planning good things. Praise the Lord. God's plan was to use me to save the lives of many people, and that is what happened. So don't be afraid. I'll take care of you and your children. And so Joseph said kind things to his brothers, and this made him feel better. Oh, this doing something to my heart, child. Joseph continued to live in Egypt with his father's family. He died when he was 110 years old. During Joseph's life, Ephraim had children and grandchildren. So Joseph's son done had kids and grandkids. And his son Manasseh had a son named Machir. Joseph lived to see Machir's children. So Machir ain't had no grandchildren, but he had children. So Joseph done lived to see and mind you, Ephraim is his youngest son. Manasseh is the oldest. So he lived to see his oldest son had kids. So he lived to see his grandkids from his oldest son, but he lived to see great grandkids from his youngest son, Ephraim. Go off then, Joseph. I know that's right. Verse 24, when Joseph was near death, he said to his brothers, my time to die is almost here, but I know that God will take care of you and lead you out of this country. God will lead you to the land he promised to give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then Joseph asked his people to make a promise. Joseph said, promise me that you will carry my bones with you when God leads you out of Egypt. Joseph died in Egypt when he was 110 years old. Doctors prepared his body for burial and put the body in a coffin in Egypt. And that is our study on today, the end of Genesis. The end of the book of Genesis, mind you, it said that Moses is the author of the book of Genesis. So, Joseph, it's his time. It's his time to go on to glory now. He telling his brothers like, look, y'all gonna be straight. Y'all gonna